Hello, Tarnished, and welcome back to another Souls-like video. Today, we're diving into the ultimate Hollow Knight charm tier list there is on the internet right now. Every single charm in the game ranked from absolute trash to game-changing S-tier monsters. Whether you're a brand new explorer in Hollownest or a seasoned veteran looking to optimize your builds, this video has everything you need to know. We're not just listing charms though, I'll explain where to find them, how to use them effectively, and why each one is ranked where it is. Plus, I'll highlight some hidden synergies that can completely change how you approach combat. Alright, so in this tier list, I've ranked things a little bit differently. So S-tier charms are like the absolute best, or game-changing, or they change the game in some way, shape, or form. Essential and useful in almost every situation. A-tier charms are excellent and highly recommended, offering strong benefits that work in most builds. B-tier charms are solid, but more situational or build-dependent, giving good bonuses without being essential. C-tier charms are niche, useful in certain scenarios, but generally not required. And finally, D-tier charms have minimal impact or are mostly early game conveniences, providing small benefits that are quickly outclassed. Now, the way I've set up this tier list, it's not ranked by S, A, B, C, D. I'm going to be talking about the charm in general, and then I'll tell you where I rank it. So you'll have to watch either the whole video or the particular section with your favorite charm to see where it's ranked. So buckle up, grab your nail, and get ready to find out which charms are worth equipping and which ones maybe not so much. And if you love Hollow Knight content, I also stream these adventures live on Twitch, so check the link in the description to hang out with me in Hollownest. Let's jump right in! Wayward Compass. Wayward Compass costs 1 notch and can be purchased from Izelda in Dirthmouth for 220 geo after you free Cornifer in the Forgotten Crossroads. This charm reveals your current location on the map, which is essential when exploring new areas or trying to get your bearings after resting at a bench. Early in the game, it can feel like a lifeline, especially for players who are still learning the interconnected world of Hollownest. Over time though, the Wayward Compass becomes less valuable once you've learned the layout of areas and developed stronger charms. Devoting a notch to basic navigation feels like a waste. It earns a spot in D tier, useful for new players but quickly outclassed once you grow comfortable with the world. Gathering Swarm. Gathering Swarm also costs 1 notch, can be bought from Sly in Dirthmoth for 300 geo. When equipped, any drop geo automatically moves toward the knight. Instead of coins scattering around and forcing you to chase them down, the charm pulls them directly to you like a magnetic effect, preventing them from being left behind in dangerous spots. It's convenient in situations where coins scatter into spikes or enemies, and for farming runs, it saves you from tedious collection. Despite the convenience though, Gathering Swarm offers no combat or survival benefit, which makes it hard to justify even a single notch in the later game. Players focused on efficiency might keep it early, but eventually you'll trade it in for more impactful options. Gathering Swarm rests in D tier, helpful for geo collectors, but otherwise dispensable. Stalwart Shell. Stalwart Shell costs 2 notches and can be bought from Sly in Dirthmouth for 200 geo once he's rescued. The charm reduces knockback when stuck and extends your invincibility window after taking damage. This can give you extra stability in fights and prevent chain damage in spiked arenas. Although useful for beginners, Stalwart Shell quickly shows its limitations. Its defensive benefits is subtle, and at 2 notches, the cost outweighs the impact. You'll almost always prefer charms that directly boost healing, damage, or survivability. For this reason, Stalwart Shell belongs in C tier, a training wheel charm that rarely survives in advanced builds. Soul Catcher. Soul Catcher costs 2 notches and can be found in the Ancestral Mound after defeating the Elder Baldur. It increases the amount of soul you gain from striking enemies, making it easier to fuel both spells and healing. Since soul is the foundation of your survival, Soul Catcher immediately proves its worth. The efficiency of Soul Catcher is what makes it shine. For only 2 notches, you're improving your consistency in almost every aspect of the game. While not as extreme as its cousin Soul Eater, it fits completely in most builds without weighing them down. That flexibility secures its place in A tier, reliable and effective throughout the journey. Shaman Stone. Shaman Stone costs 3 notches and can be purchased from Salubra in the Forgotten Crossroads for 220 geo. This charm increases the damage of your spells by 33 to 51% depending on the spell, making abilities like Vengeful Spirit and Descending Dart hit much harder. For players who favor magic-heavy combat, Shaman Stone is transformative, turning spells into boss-melting tools. The charm's impact is immediate and powerful. Whether you're clearing groups of enemies or focusing down a boss, the raw spell damage boost allows faster fights and better control. While it takes 3 notches, the trade-off is almost always worth it in spell-focused builds. That power secures Shaman Stone in S tier, one of the strongest offensive charms in Hollow Knight. Soul Eater. Soul Eater costs 4 notches and can be found in the Resting Grounds and requires Desolate Dive and Descending Dark to be able to acquire it. Hidden beyond the Soul Eater grave, it greatly increases the amount of soul gained when striking enemies. The effect is strong, letting you feel more frequent healing and spellcasting, but it comes at the steepest notch cost of any soul gain charm. The sheer weight of 4 notches makes Soul Eater difficult to justify. Its benefit is noticeable, but Soul Catcher provides similar value for half the cost, making it more efficient choice in most builds. Soul Eater only finds use in highly specialized spell-focused setups, and because of that heavy drawback, it sits in C tier. Dashmaster. Dashmaster costs 2 notches and can be found beneath a statue below the Mantis village in the Fungal Wastes, near the entrance of the Royal Waterways. This charm reduces the cooldown between dashes and even allows you to dash downward. At first glance, this seems like a fun tool for mobility-focused players, especially in combat. In practice, Dashmaster rarely feels necessary. The reduced cooldown is minor compared to the flexibility of Shade Cloak later on, and the downward dash mechanic is more gimmicky than beneficial. While it can speed up traversal, its limited utility in actual fights places it in C tier, a charm that feels novel but not essential. Sprintmaster. Sprintmaster costs 1 notch and is purchased from Sly in Dirtmouth for 400 geo, after you present the shopkeeper's key to upgrade his shop. The charm increases your movement speed, letting you traverse Hollowness faster and dodge attacks more easily. Its effect is subtle but noticeable over time, especially in platforming-heavy areas. The main issue with Sprintmaster is its lack of impact in combat. While moving slightly faster can help dodging, it doesn't directly improve damage, healing, or survivability. That said, at just 1 notch, it's a convenient utility pick and sometimes finds a home in casual builds. Sprintmaster belongs in B tier, not essential, but consistently useful in a minor way. Grubsong. Grubsong costs 1 notch and is rewarded by the Grubfather after rescuing 10 grubs. The charm grants you soul whenever you take damage, giving you a way to recover or retaliate after mistakes. This mechanic makes it one of the more beginner-friendly charms in the game, offering insurance in tough fights. Even in advanced play, Grubsong has its place. Pairing it with Grubfly's Elegy or certain tankier setups allows it to generate consistent value. While not flashy, its low notch cost and steady utility push it comfortably into A tier, a strong pick for both learning the game and supplementing creative builds. Grubfly's Elegy. Grubfly's Elegy costs 3 notches and is given by the Grubfather after rescuing all 46 grubs. When equipped, it causes your nail attacks to release damaging beams while you are at full health. This turns your melee strikes into ranged projectiles, adding a new dimension to your offense. The catch is that the charm only works when you're completely unharmed, which is often difficult to maintain in Hollow Knight's most punishing battles. This makes it feel unreliable, as losing health immediately shuts down its power. While it's fun for casual exploration or unique challenge rounds, it lacks consistency in serious play. For that reason, Grubberfly's Elegy falls into the C tier. Fragile Heart. Fragile Heart costs 2 notches and can be purchased from Leg Eater in Fungal Wastes for 350 geo. It increases your maximum health, but breaks if you die and must be repaired. When broken, Leg Eater can repair it for 200 geo or for 160 geo while wearing the Defender's Crest. Despite the risk, it provides a strong early game advantage, letting you survive encounters that would otherwise be lethal. The charm's limited lifespan means it's mainly useful for beginners or specific early game challenges. Once you can afford Unbreakable Heart or have developed a stronger defensive setup, Fragile Heart becomes less appealing. Because of this, it lands itself in the D tier as a powerful but temporary health boost. Unbreakable Heart. Unbreakable Heart costs 2 notches and is obtained in Dirtmouth by upgrading its fragile version from Divine. Right after you have summoned the Grim Troop, Divine will be available to interact with. To obtain the Unbreakable version, equip the Fragile Heart charm and speak to her. She will eat the charm and ask for 12,000 Geo to upgrade it, and once you agree to it, Divine will give you the Unbreakable Heart charm. It permanently increases your maximum health without the risk of breaking, unlike Fragile Heart. This makes it a reliable defense boost that scales with your progression, giving you extra survivability in both exploration and combat. The charm's main appeal is its permanence and simplicity. It doesn't add flashy mechanics or combat tricks, but the raw health increase is always useful. For that reason, it sits comfortably in A tier, a solid pick for almost any build focused on durability. Fragile Greed. Fragile Greed costs 2 notches and can be purchased from Leg Eater in the Fungal Waste for 250 Geo. It increases the Geo gained from enemies, but it breaks upon death and must be repaired. When broken, Leg Eater can repair it for 150 Geo. In the early game, this charm is extremely helpful for amassing currency quickly and buying essential upgrades. Because of its temporary nature, Fragile Greed is less useful in the late game, and its influence on combat is non-existent. It remains situational, earning its spot in the D tier, great for early or farming focused builds, but otherwise non-essential. Unbreakable Greed. Unbreakable Greed costs 2 notches and is acquired by upgrading its fragile version from Divine. Right after the knight has summoned the Grim Troop, Divine will be available to interact with in Dirtmouth. To obtain the Unbreakable version, equip the Fragile Greed charm and speak to her. You will be given a prompt that she will eat the charm and will ask for 9,000 Geo to upgrade it, and once you agree to it, Divine will give you the Unbreakable Greed charm. It permanently increases the Geo you gain from enemies, allowing faster upgrades and purchases throughout the game. The charm is excellent for farming runs or for players who want to stockpile Geo efficiently. Killed enemies drop 20 to 60% more Geo than the normal drop rate. Its usefulness is situational, however. While extra Geo is always nice, it doesn't affect combat directly. That limits its overall impact, keeping it in the B tier for players who want economic advantages but aren't gaining an edge in fights or survivability. Fragile Strength. Fragile Strength costs 3 notches and can be purchased from Leg Eater in the Funnel Waste for 600 Geo. It permanently increases your nail damage, but if you die, it breaks and it must be repaired. Leg Eater can repair it for 350 Geo. In the early stages, it provides a significant boost to your offensive capabilities, making enemies and bosses much easier to handle. While its effect is excellent when active, the fragility limits its long-term usefulness. Once you can acquire Unbreakable Strength, Fragile Strength is mostly an early game tool. Despite the raw damage increase, that makes it a D tier while it's intact, as it can drastically improve combat efficiency for newer players or in tough encounters, but once you get the next upgrade, it's completely useless. Unbreakable Strength. Unbreakable Strength costs 3 notches and is obtained by upgrading its fragile version from Divine right after the knight has summoned the Grim Troop. Divine will be available to interact with in Dirtmouth. To obtain the Unbreakable version, equip the Fragile Strength charm and speak to her. You will be given a prompt that she will eat the charm and will ask for 15,000 Geo to upgrade it. And once you agree to it, Divine will give you the Unbreakable Strength charm. It permanently increases your nail damage, boosting your overall offensive potential. This charm benefits both standard and spell combo builds, giving you a reliable way to improve damage output without worrying about breaking it, as it strengthens the attack of the nail by 50%. Its permanence and raw power make it a strong pick for any combat-focused build. Even though it costs 3 notches, the direct boost to your primarily attack justifies the slot, and it earns an A tier for consistent value in almost every scenario. Spell Twister. Spell Twister costs 2 notches and is acquired from a secret room on top of the Soul Sanctum just before fighting Soul Master. This charm reduces the soul cost of your spells, allowing you to cast abilities more frequently without needing to collect as much soul. For spell-focused builds, it's an essential utility charm that enhances both offensive and defensive capabilities. Its low cost and universal benefit makes Spell Twister highly effective. Players using any spell-heavy setup will find it invaluable, and it's especially strong in combination with Shaman Stone and Soul Eater. Because of this versatility, Spell Twister earns a solid A-tier ranking. Steady Body. Steady Body costs 1 notch and can be purchased from Salubra in Dirtmouth for 120 geo. When equipped, it prevents knockback from enemy attacks, keeping you steady during combat and reducing the chances of being thrown into hazards or spikes. It's a defensive utility charm that rewards careful positioning and can be especially helpful for plant-forming sections. Despite its utility, Steady Body doesn't enhance damage or healing, which limits its overall impact. It's a niche charm that is very helpful in certain scenarios, but not universally necessary, placing it in B tier for players who want extra control over their positioning. Heavy Blow. Heavy Blow costs 2 notches and can be bought from Sly for 350 geo after bringing him the shopkeeper's key in Crystal Peak. The charm increases nail damage when hitting enemies, giving you a small burst of extra damage. This can make the first strike in a fight noticeably more powerful. However, enemies that do not take knockback are not affected by Heavy Blow's increased knockback, making this charm ineffective in most boss fights. Its situational nature limits its overall usefulness, as most combat in Hollow Knight is continuous rather than relying on single hit bursts. Heavy Blow remains a fun and occasionally effective charm, but sits in C tier due to its narrow impact and inconsistent benefit. Quick Slash. Quick Slash costs 3 notches and can be located in Kingdom's Edge on a massive anvil in a hitting room in front of a massive corpse known as an ancient nailsmith. This charm increases the speed of your nail attack, allowing you to chain hits faster and improve overall DPS. It's particularly effective for aggressive, melee-focused playstyles that rely on maintaining constant pressure on enemies. The increased attack speed significantly boosts combat effectiveness, especially against faster or multi-hit enemies. Quick Slash is almost always useful in nail-centered builds, justifying its high-notch costs, and it earns S tier for the consistent offensive advantage it provides throughout the game. Longnail. Longnail costs 2 notches and can be purchased from Salubra in the Forgotten Crossroads for 300 geo. When equipped, it increases the range of your nail attacks, letting you hit enemies from further away. This additional reach can make combat safer and more precise, especially against foes that attack quickly or occupy tight spaces. The extra range also helps with spacing in boss fights and makes chaining attacks smoother. While it doesn't increase raw damage, its utility in positioning and maintaining offensive pressure makes Longnail a strong pick. For that reason, it sits comfortably in B tier, useful in most builds, but not strictly mandatory. Mark of Pride. Mark of Pride costs 3 notches and can be found in the Mantis Village in a chest in a room northeast of the Mantis Lords area. This room is accessible after defeating the Mantis Lords. It further extends nail range beyond Longnail's effect, allowing you to hit enemies from even safer distances. This charm is particularly valuable for aggressive or ranged melee setups, while maximizing spacing is key. The combination of range extension and the ability to safely land attacks in tricky fights makes Mark of Pride a very versatile charm. It's excellent in both exploration and combat scenarios, and its consistent utility secures it an A-tier ranking for most playstyles. Fury of the Fallen. Fury of the Fallen costs 2 notches and can be found in King's Pass, the starting area behind a spike-filled cavern. It increases your nail damage whenever you are at low health, giving you a powerful offensive boost when you are most at risk. This mechanic rewards aggressive play and risk-taking in difficult encounters. However, you need to remain at 1 mask for its effect to even count. While situational, Fury of the Fallen can turn the tide in tough fights, letting skilled players capitalize on low health moments for massive damage. Its high reward but situational application places it in B tier, a strong charm for confident players who manage risk carefully. Thorns of Agony. Thorns of Agony costs 1 notch and can be found in Green Path in a maze of thorns featuring charged Lumaflies, and requires Mothwing Cloak to reach. It releases damaging spikes around you whenever you take a hit, allowing passive retaliation against nearby enemies. This charm works best in close quarters combat or against swarms of smaller foes. The damage output is modest and often negligible against bossage, which limits its overall impact. Despite that, it provides extra offensive value without extra effort, making it a fun utility charm for certain encounters. Thorns of Agony sits in C tier, helpful but rarely central to a build. Baldur Shell. Baldur Shell costs 2 notches and can be found in the southwest portion of the Hollowing Cliffs, where there's a chest that drops exactly only 1 geo. It provides a defensive benefit but reduces damage taking while stationary, letting you heal or focus attacks safely in high-risk zones. Its effect is highly situational. Staying still is rarely optimal in Hollow Knight's fast-paced combat. While it can be useful in spike-heavy areas or during careful spell casting, most players find it limited in scope. That situational nature places Baldur Shell in C tier, a niche defensive option for specific scenarios. Flukenest. Flukenest costs 3 notches and is found in the Royal Waterways after defeating the Fluke Marm boss. When equipped, it transforms the Vengeful Spirit spell into a horde of volatile baby flukes that can hit enemies at range. This dramatically increases offensive potential, especially against clustered or agile enemies, effectively giving you a semi-ranged build. The charm excels in combat, allowing you to apply pressure from safer distances while hitting multiple targets at once. Its versatility and clear damage boost make Flukenest an A tier charm, one of the most consistently useful offensive options for nail-focused builds. Defender's Crest. Defender's Crest costs 1 notch and can be found in the Royal Waterways as a reward for defeating Dung Defender. It creates a cloud of damage around you whenever you are hit, automatically punishing nearby enemies. This effect works well for dealing with smaller mobs or creating a bit of passive retaliation in tight fights. While fun and occasionally effective, its damage is relatively minor and unreliable against larger foes or bosses. It's a situational tool that doesn't significantly alter combat performance, earning it a C tier spot for niche utility. Glowing Womb. Glowing Womb costs 2 notches and can be found in the Forgotten Crossroads. This charm summons a small companion that automatically attacks nearby enemies, adding passive offensive support during battles. Glowing Womb is interesting but inconsistent. The companion's damage is minor and it only affects weaker foes. It's more of a novelty charm than a reliable combat tool, placing it in C tier as a fun but non-essential addition to your loadout. Quick Focus. Quick Focus costs 3 notches and can be purchased from Salubra in the Forgotten Crossroads for 800 geo. It speeds up the time it takes to heal, allowing you to recover in tighter windows and survive more dangerous situations. This makes it an essential charm for defensive or cautious playstyles. Quick Focus is consistently impactful, improving survivability across almost every encounter. Its ability to enable safer healing during boss fights or hazardous areas earns it an A tier ranking, making it a core defensive option for most builds. Deep Focus. Deep Focus costs 4 notches and can be found in Crystal's Peak in a hidden cave made entirely of crystals. It increases the amount of health restored when healing, providing a more sustainable recovery with each cast. However, you will heal much slower. This makes it a strong complement to healing-focused strategies and extends survivabilities. Deep Focus works particularly well in combination with Quick Focus or Hiveblood, enhancing defensive sustainability, is straightforward, and a reliable benefit secures it C tier, a solid choice for players looking to boost healing efficiency without adding complexity. Lifeblood Heart. Lifeblood Heart costs 2 notches and is bought from Salubra in the Forgotten Crossroads for 250 geo. Equipping it increases your maximum health by adding temporary blue health, which absorbs damage before affecting your regular health. This provides a buffer that can make challenging encounters slightly less punishing. The benefit is reliable, but limited in scale. Since the extra health is temporary and doesn't scale with permanent upgrades, its impact diminishes as you acquire more health or stronger charms. For that reason, Lifeblood sits in B tier, a helpful early game to mid-game support option that offers situational survivability. Lifeblood Core. Lifeblood Core costs 3 notches and is acquired in the Abyss from a door that only opens when having 14 or more Lifeblood masks. It functions like Lifeblood Heart, but grants more temporary health, giving you a larger buffer against damage. This can be crucial in areas with spike traps or powerful enemies, allowing you to survive mistakes more comfortably. Despite the increased buffer, it's still temporary health, and experienced players often outgrow it quickly. Its situational usefulness keeps it in B tier, best for players tackling tough platforming or early boss encounters, but not essential later. Joni's Blessing. Joni's Blessing costs 4 notches and can be found in Joni Repose in the Hallowing Cliffs. The charm converts all your health into temporary blue health, effectively giving you an enormous health pool but preventing normal healing. It's a high-risk, high-reward defensive option for those confident in dodging and sustaining long fights. Its strength is undeniable in expert hands, as the huge health buffer can completely absorb damage in difficult scenarios. However, its inability to heal normally limits flexibility, so while it's powerful, it lands in A tier, excellent in niche circumstances, but not universally useful. Hiveblood. Hiveblood costs 4 notches and can be found in the Hive. It slowly regenerates lost health over time, giving a passive recovery advantage in long exploration or during prolonged fights. This makes it especially useful for players who want consistent sustain without relying on healing spells constantly. This is also a very useful charm in the Path of Pain. The charm's steady healing allows for more aggressive play or extending dungeon rungs without retreating to benches. Its utility across most scenarios earns Hiveblood an A tier ranking, as it's a reliable, flexible, and defensive core charm. Spore Shroom. Spore Shroom costs 1 notch and is attained in the Fungal Waste. It emits damaging spores automatically when you are focusing Soul, providing passive retaliation to surrounding enemies. This can help control groups of foes and add a small offensive edge during exploration. The damage output is modest and doesn't scale well against bosses, making it situational at best. Spore Shroom is fun for crowd control and defensive support, but is generally non-essential, placing it in C tier. Sharp Shadow. Sharp Shadow costs 2 notches and is located in Deepness, southeast of the hot springs behind a shade gate. When equipped, it extends the distance your shadow dash covers, allowing you to cross gaps, dodge attacks, or close in on enemies more effectively. This enhances mobility and can open up new tactical options in combat exploration. It also makes your shadow sharp, allowing you to attack enemies by dashing through them. The charm's increased dash range is useful for both movement and combat, but it's most impactful in specific scenarios, like navigating hazards or reaching otherwise difficult areas. Its situational benefit and mobility boost earn Sharp Shadow a B tier ranking, making it a solid but not universally essential charm. Shape of Un. Shape of Un costs 2 notches and can be acquired from Un beneath the Lake of Un. Requires Isma's tier to get. When equipped, instead of standing still while focusing Soul to heal, the knight can continue to move. This lets you stay mobile, dodge attacks, and even slip through small gaps while regaining health. However, movement is limited and it's not possible to jump or use any movement abilities during this time. There is also still a startup and ending animation to focus. While innovative, its utility is limited to very specific areas or encounters. Most of the game's challenges can be overcome without it, so Shape of Un is placed in C tier as a niche charm for exploration and minor hazard mitigation. Nailmaster's Glory. Nailmaster's Glory costs 1 notch and is rewarded after completing the Nailmaster's challenges in 3 different locations. It increases the bearer's mastery of nail arts, allowing them to focus their power faster and unleash arts sooner. This charm is particularly appealing to players who enjoy skill-based combat and mastering timing. The benefit is significant for advanced players, but may go unused for casual play, as nail arts require practice to be effective. Its situational appeal and skill ceiling put Nailmaster's Glory in B tier, strong for mastery-focused builds, but optional for most playthroughs. Weaversong. Weaversong costs 2 notches and is found in the upper part of Weaver's Den. Equipping it releases tiny creatures that attack nearby enemies, giving you a passive offensive boost. This charm combines charm-based world lore with a unique gameplay effect that adds utility in combat. The charm's damage is minor and doesn't scale with enemy difficulty, limiting its overall usefulness. While it offers an interesting aesthetic and slight combat assistance, it's a niche option that sits in C tier. Enjoyable, but not essential. Dream Wielder. Dream Wielder costs 1 notch and is given by Seer after gathering 500 essence. It enhances the damage and efficiency of Dream Nail attacks, making it critical for players focusing on dream-based combat and spellcasting. This can drastically improve DPS against dream enemies and bosses. Its specialized nature means it's powerful in the right context, but largely irrelevant in standard combat scenarios. Because of that, Dream Wielder lands in B tier, a strong charm for dream-focused builds, but not mandatory for general gameplay. Dreamshield. Dreamshield costs 3 notches and can be found in a room in the Resting Grounds below Seer's room. When equipped, it conjures a rotating shield that follows the knight, blocks many, but not all, incoming projectiles, and deals 1 nail's worth of damage when the shield collides with an enemy. The shield will break when it touches an enemy or certain attacks and then takes about 2 seconds to reform. Attacking with your nail causes the shield to bash outward, and the shield rotates noticeably faster while you are focusing. This charm's effectiveness, because Dreamshield provides reliable projectile protection in many encounters while also offering passive contact damage and an active bash on nail strikes, while valuable in its niche, its limited applicability places Dreamshield in C tier. Useful for specialized builds, but not essential overall. Grimmchild. Grimmchild costs 2 notches and is acquired after completing the Grim Troop questline. Equipping it summons a small firefly companion that automatically attacks enemies, giving passive offensive support. This charm is particularly effective against swarms or weaker enemies, adding consistent damage without extra effort. Grimmchild is versatile and easy to use, fitting well into a variety of combat styles. While it's not a game-breaking addition, the constant damage support earns it a spot in the B ranking tier, ranking as a reliable and convenient offensive charm. Carefree Melody. Carefree Melody costs 3 notches and is rewarded after banishing the Grim Troop. When equipped, it grants temporary invincibility after taking damage, giving you a brief window to react and recover. This provides a safety net in tough fights, especially against bosses or during platforming hazards. The effect is strong but situational, as its full benefit only triggers upon taking damage. While it can be life-saving in critical moments, its utility is limited compared to constant defensive charms, placing Carefree Melody in the B tier. White Fragment. White Fragment costs 1 notch and is found in the White Palace. It functions as a precursor to Kingsoul, granting increased nail damage when fully combined with other fragments. While it is only part of a larger charm, it offers a taste of the powerful effects that will come with Kingsoul. Its partial functionality makes it more of a stepping stone than a full feature charm. Because of its limited impact until upgraded, White Fragment is C tier, useful for progression, but not a permanent choice. Kingsoul. Kingsoul costs 5 notches and is obtained after combining the 2 white fragments. One is found in the Queen's Garden and the other is found in the White Palace. It dramatically increases nail damage, turning it into one of the strongest offensive tools in the game. This makes it a centerpiece of melee-focused builds. The charm's combination of range, damage, and reliability ensures it remains valuable throughout most of the game. Its high utility and offensive strength secure Kingsoul in the S tier, a must-have for aggressive combat strategies. But not only this, but Kingsoul is the key charm required to unlock the Void Heart. That single fact elevates it. Even if you don't use it for its effect all the time, it's a progressive critical charm that opens the path to the game's true ending. Because of that, it transcends being just a charm, becoming an essential milestone in the King's journey. Void Heart. Void Heart is the final evolution of the Kingsoul charm, and unlike most charms, it actually costs 0 notches. You obtain it by first collecting both halves of the Kingsoul and equipping it, and then traveling into the Abyss. There, the Kingsoul dissolves into the Void Heart during a cutscene that symbolizes the knight embracing their true nature. What makes Void Heart unique is that it isn't just a powerful charm, it's a key to progression. Once you have it, the Hollow Knight treats you differently. Additional endings become available, and the God Seeker reacts in new ways. It doesn't directly enhance combat with stats or abilities, but its impact on the story, endings, and the world itself is massive. Because of that, it's ranked firmly in S tier, not for raw power in battle, but because it's essential to fully experiencing Hollow Knight's true ending and narrative depth. And there you have it. That was the ultimate Hollow Knight charm tier list. Every charm ranked, explained, and ready for you to experiment with in your next Hollownest adventure. Remember, it's not just about what's S tier on paper, but what your playstyle and personal preferences matter too. So mix and match to find what works best for you. Just because something didn't hit the top for me doesn't mean it won't work for you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more Hollow Knight deep dives, and hit the bell icon so that you never miss a new video. I also stream live on Twitch doing everything from casual exploration to challenge runs, so come hang out, chat, and see these charms in action in real time. Which charm is your personal favorite, or which do you think I underrated? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear what everyone's favorites are. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy exploring, Nailmasters! Goodbye!